TAM TUK by George Adams. Continued. Chapter 16. She was lying on the bed closest to the window when I turned on the light, trying to look coy with her body folded towards me, one thigh over the other, and her high heels still on. The flashing lights of the Power of Greek were working over her naked legs, as I had forgotten to blot out their glare with the shutters. Marina, working overtime again? She smiled, and I saw she wasn't wearing makeup this time. I'm not working at all. It's a social call. I think you got me all wrong, and I came up to apologize. Accepted. Now, can you get your lovely behind off my bed and let me lounge a little? Even Sharmuses need a rest now and then. Sharmuses? It's an old word for private detective. I'm trying not to use one particular D word. It might get me into trouble. She laughed her tinkling laugh and showed no signs of moving. Why not pour me a drink? I looked at the dresser. There was a bottle of the Verde, the sort in a regular bottle, so it might just be drinkable, in an ice bucket, and 2 glasses beside it on a little tray. How much leg did you have to show to get the Persky? Oh, legs don't interest people as much as a few names and a banknote. You're always so romantic, Nigel. I went to the bottle, took out the cork with a corkscrew and filled the glasses. I carried one of them to the bed, and I sat down on the other bed, trying to look like Marlowe might have looked, but not managing it as usual. For one thing, I had no idea how Marlowe would handle a Russian hooker in his bedroom. He never seemed to end up in bed with anyone. So what have you come for this time? Your boss is a real hard seller. He's got nothing to do with it. He's not my boss. Like all romantics, you assume so many things. Too much imagination in your brain. People are always telling me that, just like they're always telling me I'm intelligent. But if I'm so intelligent, why am I so poor? You're poor? You have no idea of poverty, I think. Let me guess. Poor family in the suburbs of Moscow with a bright, pretty daughter selling her ass abroad so she can spend the rubles back to mummy? Or were you promised a job as a waitress or nanny and given the needle in transit? More romantic notions, as if anyone is ever really innocent or ever really wicked. Well, I'd really love to discuss comparative morality with you, but it's getting late and I have some letters to write. To Mummy, of course. She worries so. Don't you want to hear about Adeline? I took a large quaff of my wine and slipped off my shoes and lay down on the other bed again with my head up on the bedpost. Fire away. I'm all ears. Do you know her? We became acquainted. She really likes you for some reason, but she's also very afraid for you. Women get that way sometimes. I'm very touched. No, seriously, she's a nice girl at heart. You don't know her story, I guess. Go on. Well, she's got some connections she'd rather not have, and she tries hard to live them down, but you'd better believe it when I say that she's not evil. Deep down, not one bit. That's rather vague. Just who are her connections? If I told you that, I'd have a very short shelf life. A lot of her problem is being Chinese, of course, the sort that gets to be educated and modern and relatively ethical, even though her baseline and her affections are grounded in the big Chinese vat of rotten connections. So just who is she loyal to? Adeline? She believes in the future, I would say. She'll be something really big one day, and then you'll see great changes in Hong Kong, I think, if you live long enough. Oh, so you're a frightener after all. Not really. No one sent me here. I'm just being a friend to you. You interest me. Someone else had said that to me recently. It might be the latest catchphrase in the women's magazines. But this one did look at me with real passion in her eyes. As usual, Trelford had to beat all that away and return to business and hard facts. I said, "But I'm so romantic. You think so anyway. Just focus a bit more for a while longer. All right? Why is Adeline in Macau?" "She's here?" "Come off it. You know she's here." "Perhaps I do." "And why should she be here? To escape the police asking her a lot of fool questions?" "That's partly it. As far as I know, her boyfriend's death has been classified as a suicide. She'd rather not return to Hong Kong and be in all the glossy magazines." "Just when her mother is fighting the elections, you mean?" "Not only that, she's a shy girl, actually. Just like me." She tinkled another laugh along her long, lovely throat. "You're as shy as a $5 hooker." The big problem pressing on my mind just then, apart from why Adeline liked me and whether I was indeed to become fodder for the Macau souls in the harbour, was what to do with a white woman. I hadn't had sex with one for years. The last time, and I still remember the day, was the time I had sired my daughter for no other reason than I thought it was the right thing to do. European women either go home from Hong Kong with a Korean chest or a baby. In the end, mine had gone home with both. I remembered visiting the flat I'd left to shack up with my 20-something down the road and almost falling over the furniture my former wife had suddenly acquired. Shiny brass fittings on hard wooden panels. 2 Korean chests. She already had the baby. "Would it hurt you terrifically if I told you I don't find European women attractive?" I said at last. "Why is that?" "I suppose I'm colour-struck, you know. Conditioned to all those lovely, obedient, manageable girls with the almond eyes and slightly brown skin. Don't take it personally. People always say that to me when they're being really mean." "So you haven't acquired a taste for the Asian male?" "I feel sorry for you then." "They disgust me, actually." "Why?" She reached for her handbag for a moment and sought some urgently needed cream for her hands. It was a female equivalent of reaching for a pipe or a cigarette packet. "The same reason why you can't get it up for European women." And she laughed again. "I suppose I could get it up, but I wouldn't know what to do with it." There was a pause. As if on cue, the fridge by the doorway kicked into action, refreshing the air inside after the strain of being opened recently. "Fair enough. I'd better be going then. If I ever turn back to round eyes, you'll be the first to know." I shouldn't have said it, as it wasn't funny in the circumstances. Even call girls get lonely sometimes, I suppose. Perhaps they're always lonely. I don't know. She winced a little and walked silently to the door. "Keep healthy, big, handsome Englishman," she said, just as the door snapped shut.